I've spent years exploring on and off the grid, and no matter where I go or what I do, I always put too much effort into my cooking setup. I've even contemplated throwing all this away and just doing freeze-dried meals. But fortunately for me, I came across a company called Stoke Voltaics. And if this sounds like anything you've gone through, join me in the challenge of ditching propane for electric cookware. Hang in there, because I'm going to show you a revolutionary product that's going to change the way you think about cooking at camp. Welcome back to Path to Rome. If you're new here, my name's Ben, and I love to share my off-road adventures. My favorite thing to do is get out, explore, camp, and explore some more. If you like this video, give us a like, hit subscribe. It really helps our channel out. But let's dive into why you are really here. Electric cookware is absolutely gaining traction with campers and overlanders, and for good reason. It's slowly but surely becoming the go-to option for outdoor enthusiasts. But what's driving this trend? In my opinion, it's all about convenience, safety, and being environmentally friendly. When I think back to my previous camping trips, I remember the hassle of lugging around the propane tanks, the stove, and worry about the safety aspect of it all. Have you ever left the propane on for hours and just wondered if it's going to blow up in your face? And look, I may not be an environmentalist, but there is absolutely an environmental impact of all those little green propane tanks. Not to mention with dealing with the struggle of, is the wind going to blow my flame out? Dealing with hot surfaces and all the residue that's left behind. Look, it's just a lot to handle, a lot to pack, a lot to clean up, especially when you're on the move and space is limited. Oh, and one more thing to mention, do you ever have burn bans in your area? Or maybe you're out camping and you can't have a fire, you can't have a portable stove, nothing like that. Happens to us all the time out west with all the dry summers that we happen to have and all the wildfires that are going on right now. So this is definitely something that is a real issue and a real concern for when we're out on the trail. On the other hand, electric cookware, total game changer. Not only is it super convenient, but it's also so much more efficient. I mean, who wouldn't want to just plug in their stove and have a hot meal in no time? And the best part is, it's virtually mess-free. Seriously, all you gotta do is just wipe it down with a cloth at the end and you're good to go. None of that scrubbing a greasy stove from all the burn marks and everything that comes with it. Let me introduce you to the Stoke Voltaics Nomad cooking system. Look, I was a bit skeptical at first, but when I used this on my last camping trip, I was totally hooked. It was so easy to use, clean, and store. And the best part is, this is much safer than propane. No more worrying about the stove blowing up in my face, leaving it on for hours and running out of fuel. It was just a much more relaxing, peaceful experience. Before we take a closer look, I'd be curious to hear what you have to say down in the comments about propane versus electrical cookware. Have you used it? Have you been thinking about it when you're camping or when you're on the trail? Now let's take a deeper look into this system. So, this is going to come with a cooking reactor, the AC plug. You get a lid. This thing's pretty awesome. How it's modular, it fits together. But you got a sizzling pan, frying pan, and then the bubbling pot. It's a pot. Really cool handle that comes along with it. Put it on any part of the pot. Very easy to take on and off. So, modular design, packs up very nicely together. Takes up a very little amount of space. Just look at how much space this takes up compared to everything else I had piled on at the start of this video. You can use it on AC power, but in terms of power stations, it'll draw 200 watts up to 1,000 watts in 200 watt increments, depending on the heat intensity that you want or how fast or hot you want to cook something. Now, I have the Bluetti AC180. And that's what we're going to use to fire this thing up and take a closer look. But before we do that, this power station runs this with no problem. You can check out my last camping adventure and see how I used it for a very short period of time, about 20 minutes, and it took about 20%. Now, I'm going to plug this thing in and show you kind of how the controls work on the knob here of the cooking system. So, incredibly easy to use. As you can see, press the power to turn it on. Starts out at 200 watts, and you can crank it up at 200 watt increments all the way up to 1,000. Gives you a nice little timer there so you know how long it's been cooking. Then you can press it once to pause it, and long press it to turn it off. As you can see, incredibly easy to use. But one more thing I want to show you. Probably remember a jet boil when I first opened this video. Yeah, great product actually, but between that, having to light a fire, having to bring extra fuel tanks, all that stuff, problems are solved with the Jewel kettle. You can do all kinds of things with this cup. You can cook in it, you can boil water, whatever you need to do. It's a great addition to the cooking system, and it works the same way. It's super easy to use, and it's a great thing to have on the trail. I personally don't drink coffee, but my wife does, and she needs hot water every morning. So there it is. Now look, when I used this on my last camping trip, it was super simple, and it was really easy to use. If you check that out, you'll see I cooked some sausage in there, and it really came out great. This little lid trapped the heat super well, and it really didn't drain that much power. I still had enough to run my diesel heater for over 13 hours after cooking with this, and I had enough juice left to cook breakfast in the morning. Now, if you're worried about power station power, check out something else that I have in a video with the Bluetti AC180 and the Charger one. It just might be something you're looking for. In conclusion, making the switch from propane to electric cookware has been a total game changer for me. It's safer, more efficient, and just plain easier to use. I highly recommend you give it a try on your next camping trip, and I really don't think you're going to regret it. Check out the links below. You can pick up all this for yourself through their website, and if you do it through my link, it does help our channel grow. And I even left you a discount code to get 10% off. So, what are your thoughts? Please leave us a comment. Let us know. Have you made the switch from propane? Have you been thinking about electrical cookware? And if you're looking for more great adventures, be sure to check this out. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.